Hi everyone in English 2323. It's Dr. E and I'm here with your week 9 instructional video. Week 9. As you can see, taking advantage of the season. So thought I've never dressed up in videos before, but I thought why not? This could be fun. We could probably all use a little bit of fun. I also opened a forum and a discussion post area related to Halloween or the fall season if you want to share pictures of Halloween's past or present. I put anything pumpkin spice because it's everywhere, or just just something kind of fun because again it's we could all use a little bit of it. So as you can see, I'm Rosie the Riveter, and you'll see that I have Leslie Nope here from Parks and Recreations as Rosie the Riveter, and this is a bobblehead of Rosie the Riveter. Anyhow, we can do it. That's the motto, right? So I'm just going to go straight to where to go and what to do for this upcoming week. If you go to the content area, so you can see I was really getting into it. We have the Queen right here, Beyonce as Rosie the Riveter, and then Leslie Nope added in here. Why not? All right, so for this week, we're actually reading one of those background chapters on the 20th and 21st centuries. As I say with most of our introductory chapters, it's a lot. Take breaks. You need to take breaks. There are quite a few quiz questions related to this chapter, so you want to do your due diligence, read the background, and make sure that you're keeping those things in mind, because again, that context is always helpful when we start reading the texts from that period, because we're moving out of the Victorian era into the 20th and 21st centuries. There are a lot of changes not only going on in Great Britain and around the world, but in literature specifically, so we want to keep those things in mind. Okay. All right, I do want to note that I've switched up a few things in our schedule, which I hope is not going to disrupt your lives too much, but this week we originally had another written response because we did the first and we got feedback. So now we're moving into our second, kind of understanding those requirements perhaps a bit better, kind of thinking about our writing habits and what we want to do this time. But I didn't want us to write a written response about the background chapter on the 20th and 21st centuries. That was really poor planning on my part. So what I've done is I flipped these next 2 weeks. So this week we actually have a mind map, which I think is a bit more fun. It's, something visual that you can put together, something a little bit different. And I'll go over some of the changes in our schedule in just a bit. So right now you're watching that instructional video. That mind map is going to be due on Thursday. There is that participation grade. And then again, please review the updated schedule and let me know if you see any inconsistencies or problems, anything like that, because I've looked at it so much, I need some peer review in there because I'm not seeing the things that may be wrong. Okay. So the mind map is due then. Your participation quiz is due on Sunday, and it is that last chance for the bonus credit assignment. That's in the assignment area of D2L. So if you go to the assignment area. All right, if we scroll down, you're watching what will appear here. So a few things in the review section. So there are the mind map guidelines, and visual just means it's going to take us directly to the instructions rather than opening a document. Some of you may want instructions in more of a document kind of format. So this, again, mind map information, all of that good stuff, the requirements, all that's available for you here. So you want to make sure you take some time to review the guidelines, and then there are the templates. So use the template, why not? Or make your own, that's absolutely fine. It just needs to meet the requirements laid out, right? So this one is already kind of set up in a good way that helps us. But that's just one of two, and you can create your own by going to Canva. Canva has, and I'll go ahead and put a link to Canva here, which has all different kinds of mind maps. But as I say in those mind map guidelines, it is tempting to spend a lot of time searching for the absolute right template, making little adjustments here and there. Focus on your ideas, y'all. Don't take so much time worried about how it looks that you're kind of scrambling to get something submitted and the ideas fall by the wayside. We don't want that. All right, so if we look at the adjusted schedule, what I'm going to do is scroll up here because there is the visual, so go straight to it instead of opening a file. So just take a look. So we are in week 9. Okay, so we do have that mind map. So for next week, we're reading a short story by James Joyce, and that's what we will write our written response over. So this did move down the ultimate due date of your portfolio assignment. So originally it was due in week 11. We're moving it to week 12. So just things to keep in mind if you have other classes that have due dates, make sure you're kind of adjusting for that if need be. Okay, I'm going to scroll up and take us back to week 9. All right. So you do have the mind map assignment, which you can get to by clicking here or going up to the course activities and clicking on assignments. So for this week, I want you to take some of the information from that background chapter and put those things together in a mind map. You can use the templates below. Oh, here's the link for Canva. So there is a link here. That will take you if you want to create your own. But what you need is 4 main ideas from the chapter in complete sentences. And then out of those ideas, at least 1 additional idea. So that may be a little bit confusing. So I'm going to click on the guidelines to give you a visual. So you have your main idea in the center. You need at least 4 of these ideas emanating outward, and from each of those 4 you need 1. So you need to choose overall ideas that are important and then get into, so that's a complete sentence. It's important to this time period because, and then from that you need another idea radiating out, supplying kind of an example, some more insights about, the selection that you've made. This is not an assignment that's requiring quotes. I don't want quotes. I want information in your own words. But remember that we are still taking information from a source, so you need to cite page numbers. So if you talk about how the literature developed in the 20th century, and you specifically want to talk about Ezra Pound, you want to give Greenblatt credit for the page number and idea, but not an actual quote. I want everything in your own words. Okay. All right. So going back to that assignment area, you can use any of these templates and then make sure that you're saving your work in the proper format. I can't grade things that are submitted in file types that D2L cannot open, right? So click Upload, Attach, and Submit. Make sure that when you submit, one good thing about D2L, there are a lot of quirks. It will send you, the program will send you a confirmation email if you've successfully submitted your assignment. Also, and I don't think anybody from our class asked me this in the past week, but just as a reminder, if you submit something and then later, a day later you realize you forgot something or you want to change, you can upload a new document and I will only grade the most recently submitted item. For some reason, D2L doesn't let you delete what you submitted so that you can then have a single document, but I understand that things happen that way, so I'll only grade the item that you submitted the most recently. Another thing I do want to remind you about is that there is that grace period for uploaded assignments. So anything that requires an upload, like a document, you originally had a 24-hour grace period and now you have a 48-hour grace period. It's there just if you need it. I would not make that a habit because that's just going to overlap all the other things that are due. But it's there if you need it because I know that life happens. But that grace period doesn't extend to the discussion posts only because that is us having that discussion, right? So that requires that we get those initial responses in on time so that then everybody in your group or everybody in the class, however the discussion is set up, everybody has a chance to go in there and comment, okay? All right, so going back, this is, again, our week at a glance. It's pretty straightforward. We have the mind map and then that quiz. I don't think I can emphasize enough the fact that the quiz is going to dig into the chapter reading. So again, just make sure that you're taking the time with it. As always, let me know if you have any questions. Post in that Q&A discussion area because if you have that question, so will other people. And then if you want to post in that Halloween form, then by all means do that. But good luck this week. We can do it.